Hi, I'm John Stevenson, and we're coming to Song of Songs chapter 3 in our continuing study of this book. We start off chapter 3, verse 1 on my bed, and this is the bride speaking. On my bed, night after night, I sought him whom my soul loves. I sought him, but did not find him. Now, there's this absent theme. We see it here. We're going to see it a bit later also in the book. Verse 2 I must arise now and go about the city. In the streets and in the squares, I must seek him whom my soul loves. I sought him, but did not find him. So this is period described where she's looking for the beloved. And notice the setting here isn't out in the country, it's in the city, the squares, the streets, and so on. So she's looking for him, and notice I sought but did not find him. The watchman who made the rounds in the city found me, and I said, "Have you seen him whom my soul loves?" And so far nobody's seen him. However, scarcely had I left them when I found him whom my soul loves. So the watchmen aren't any help. She's asking, "Have you seen him? Have you seen him?" But now she finds him, and I held on to him and wouldn't let him go until I had brought him to my mother's house and into the room of her who conceived me. So she's she's bringing him home to meet my mother. Held on to him, brought him to my mother's home, and here we are. We're finally, everything is good. Into the room of her who conceived me. Verse 5 The groom now speaks. He's just been brought to meet Mama. I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, by the gazelles or by the hinds of the field, that you will not arouse or awaken my love until she pleases. Now, we've seen this line before. It was back in chapter 2. We're gonna see it again a few more times. And whenever I see it, I want to ask: Is this a dream sequence or is this part of the story? But don't awaken my love. It presupposes that she's asleep, maybe dreaming, maybe not. So did she fall asleep in the previous verse? She got him home and fell asleep, or was that a dream sequence? I'll take it either way. I don't mind. Now the bride speaks. What is this coming up from the wilderness, like columns of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and frankincense, with all the scented powders of the merchant? We have the coming of a bunch of people, like columns of smoke. Who is this? What is this? Behold, it is the traveling couch of Solomon. Solomon shows up, okay? 60 mighty men around him. Now, when it talks about the traveling couch, this is something that the ancient rulers would do. They would have a throne. We're going to describe a few verses from now how Solomon had fashioned this. But they would have some sort of mobile throne that would be carried. Now I can't imagine that would be all that comfortable. Maybe maybe they had the carrying of it, down pat. But it is a sign of his royal authority. And remember, the Israelites, as they went through the wilderness, they had sort of the same setup, not to carry Moses or someone else, but to carry the throne of God, the Ark of the Covenant. Now we'll talk about that in a future class, but just sort of put that alongside of this image. Imagine the Ark of the Covenant as they are carrying the very presence of God. Well, here is the traveling couch of Solomon. 60 mighty men around it, of the mighty men of Israel. All of them are wielders of the sword, expert in war. The term there, milo medah, the lamad part in the middle is something that is learned. In their case, they are learned in war, experts in war. Each man has his own sword at his side, guarding against the terrors of the night. Here's somebody who travels in safety, and that's the picture of Solomon. So yes, there's that. Next, we have verse 9. King Solomon has made for himself a sedan chair. That's the chair we were looking at. Here's another rendering of that sort of thing. in this case, an Egyptian king, but some sort of ancient king being carried in a chair like this. We have it described. King Solomon has made for himself a sedan chair from the timber of Lebanon. He made its posts of silver, its back of gold. This was very ornate. Its seat of purple fabric, with its interior lovingly fitted out by the daughters of Jerusalem. So maybe it looks like this. Maybe it had like an entire little tiny room for him, however it looks. Go forth, O daughters of Zion, and gaze on King Solomon with the crown, which his mother has crowned him. So here's King Solomon. He arrives with the procession, with the throne, with the crown with which his mother has crowned him on the day of his, did you catch this? This is his wedding day. And on the day of his gladness of heart. Well, you know who the king is, you know who the groom is, you know who the bride is, okay? And now comes the wedding. In closing, let's look again. We looked last time at this, but just note this. Back in chapter 1, we saw the king has brought me into his chambers, and then we had that short reference to the brothers made her caretakers of the vineyard. He was like an apple tree. His left hand was under her head, his right hand embracing her. We just saw he's seeking him in the night, doesn't find him, goes about the city. There's watchmen, nobody's help, but finally she finds him, and now we have the wedding taking place. Solomon arrives with the procession of the wedding, and the wedding now takes place. And in the next chapter, we will have a number of references where he'll be speaking of his bride. Well, she's his bride now because the wedding has taken place. And that will take us throughout chapter 4 and all the way to the first verse of chapter 5. After that, we're going to have another seeking. Notice how the story is going to repeat itself. She'll seek him in the night, doesn't find him, looks about the city. The watchmen are there. Actually, this time they get a little bit more involved. Again, we are going to see in chapter 8, verse 3, the left hand under her head, right hand embracing her. Don't wake my love. You'll have love like an apple tree. You'll have the brothers mentioned, and it will end as they go off on their honeymoon. So what I want you to see here is that this section is the wedding.